Welcome to the stream, everyone. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Today we got HackTheBox starting point part 5. We are on the second machine of tier 1, so we've completed tier 0 completely, and we are now 11% completed with tier 1 by completing the first machine. I'm already connected to SQL, which is the second machine of tier 1 and the first machine we're going to be doing today. If you're not sure how to connect to the HackTheBox Labs or how to fire up a machine and download your VPN pack, check out my HackTheBox starting point part 1 video on YouTube, and I explain how to do that if you're not sure. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. So, like I said, I already got the machine started. So here's our IP address. I'm actually going to click this and copy to our clipboard on the HackTheBox dashboard here. And task 1 is during our scan, which port do we find serving MySQL? So I can tell you the answer without even really looking at it. It's probably going to be 3306 because that is the default port for MySQL. In every instance that I've ever seen, I mean, obviously you can change it, but 3306 is the default port for MySQL. So I'm going to actually just put that in right now. So 3306, submit answer. And that's correct. So if you wasn't sure on any answer, the best way to do this would be to do a Rust scan. I cover Rust scan a lot in all my videos, and I think it was part 2, starting point part 2, I explained how to install Rust scan. I did have some problems doing it, and so it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world. However, if you go back and watch that, you can see the problems I run into and how to resolve them. It's not terribly complicated to install Rust scan, but without a tutorial it can be a little confusing. So I highly recommend checking out Rust scan. I advocate for it because it is super fast. So the syntax here is Rust scan -a. The -a is just means address. So the IP address that we want is our target, so we're going to paste that, and then -r for range, and we're going to do 1 through 65,535, which is every single port that can be possibly be open. And once again, Rust scan is extremely fast. It's way faster than Nmap, and it runs off Nmap. It uses Nmap for its scans, but it just does it so fast that when you're doing a comprehensive full port scan, when you're scanning all 65,535 ports, Rust scan is the move, in my opinion. It's not exactly 100% accurate all the time, but it's accurate most of the time. What I mean by that is sometimes it misses ports because it goes so fast, but I've only seen it miss ports one time, and I've used this dozens and dozens of times for scans. So very rarely does it miss scans, and it's so fast that like it doesn't hurt to just run it again. So we have one port open, which is what I already guessed was 3306, and it's running MySQL. So, well, that's a guess that it's running MySQL. That's not guaranteed because this isn't checking for the exact service and exact version. This is just checking to see the port numbers that are open, and generally 3306 is open, or I mean MySQL. So as you can see, 3306 and most likely MySQL, but that's what's open, and remember that's what we did for task 1 for MySQL. So that's the correct answer. Task 2, what community developed MySQL version is the target running? So we need to do an in-depth scan because we know it's running MySQL, but we don't know what version of MySQL it's running. So to do this, we need to do a more comprehensive scan on just 3306. So to do that, we're going to do sudo nmap-s capital T for TCP full connection scan -s capital V for service version -p for port number, and we're going to specify 3306, and then we're going to paste our IP address here, and this will give us the service version of MySQL that's running on the target. This should only take a minute, Maybe not even that, because it's only one port that it's looking at here. It's actually taking a little longer than I expected. But sometimes sports scans be doing that. I've never seen a port scan take this long before on a single port. I mean, we are doing a very comprehensive scan on just this one port, but still, it is odd to me seeing how this is taking this long. We'll be patient. We'll be patient. Well, that's fine. Let's go ahead and just see if we can see the next task. So, task 3 is asking us, when using the MySQL command line client, which switch do we need to use in order to specify a login username? So that's our next task, but we can't answer it until we answer task 2. We can't answer task 2 until the scan's done, because we got to get the service version. Why is this taking so long? Oh my gosh. I did not mean to do that. Let's go exit here. And let's do a not full connection scan and see if that helps. So this is the same command that we're running up above, right here. So the command that we ran initially, and right here is what I'm gonna run now. The only difference is right here. This flag is ST. This one's SS. So, there we go. Wow. Service detection performed. It doesn't know the version. I have never seen that. It could not give me the version though. Oh wait. Alright, well let's run this one. Let's do the SS, which is it's not a full connection, so honestly it shouldn't return anything different, but anything can happen really. Should definitely be faster though, that's for sure. Maybe not. I think that what's holding it up is it can't get the version. It's what's taking it so long. I don't know why it can't fetch the version off of this. I've never seen a -SV not return a version number to me, or at least a guess. So that's a little strange. Let's go ahead and click the hint here. Typically, SV is used with MF to determine versions, but that's not always enough. In this case, try adding -SC to run safe scripts, which is another good way to get things like versions. See, I thought scripts were really more for pointing out vulnerabilities and not getting versions, but yeah, it's absolutely right. So SC is whoa, what did I do wrong? Oh, I put the flag in between port number and 3306. So generally it doesn't matter what order you put the flags. The only real thing that matters is like after -P you need to have the port numbers. You can't have -P flag and then the port number. It doesn't work that way. But generally speaking, like you can put these flags down here in any order that you want. Just make sure you pair -P with the port number, and then the IP address can also go wherever you want. Just don't interrupt this string right here. So we'll do a dash SC for safe scripts. And what it means by safe script is it's running scripts. So Nmap does have a scripting engine, and you can actually make your own scripts and even use community scripts with Nmap. But safe scripts is something you can do without. It's safe. It's not going to destroy the target system. Really, it's just going to get a ton. It just gives you more information about it. Typically, -SC can show you vulnerabilities right off the rip, which is something that I almost always do for in-depth port scans. I just didn't do it this time just because I seriously thought SV was enough, and I learned something today because of that. If you don't get a service version return, tack on a -SC, capital C. Capitalization matters in these commands. Capitalization matters in all lens commands. And yes, hacking is like this sometimes, people. It really is. This is truly how it is sometimes. You generally have to wait for scans to run, quite a bit actually. When you're trying to find stuff out, patience is key. Although it is a little abnormal that it takes this long for one port, I will admit that. I have never. Typically, it takes this long to run this on a range, but not in this case. This is just one port. But that scripting engine, it runs, I don't even know how many scripts it runs. I want to say hundreds, maybe even thousands of different scripts that run. And basically, like I said, the scripts, they're checking for vulnerabilities, and they just get more information. And it really does a comprehensive look into that port, and it really can give you a lot of information most of the time. Now, is it always accurate? No. Sometimes it will tell you like, hey, there's a vulnerability here. There's really not a vulnerability there. So that's why when you see a list of vulnerabilities, you have to really confirm or deny those vulnerabilities that pop up. I've seen instances where I had hundreds of vulnerabilities pop up on one port, and I still couldn't break into the port. Whether that's a skill issue or if the vulnerabilities were incorrect, I'm not entirely sure, but our scan is done, and so we got a lot of information here. So we got protocol 10, we got version number here, so it's a MariaDB. Capabilities, I'm not really concerned with any of this right here. Status, auto commit, salt, so this could be super critical right here. And then auth plugin name, MySQL native password, so that can definitely help us out too. But it looks like it's MariaDB for task 2, so we will type in MariaDB. Smith, answer. When using the MySQL command line client, which switch do we need to use in order to specify a login username? I want to say it's -u, but honestly I'm not 100% sure. I think the best way would probably be MySQL -h. Let's do MySQL -help. Oh, here we go. We can actually close this up here so we can get a bigger screen. Zoom back in. So dash U is username. User for login if not current user. So dash lowercase u. Remember, conversations important. Is that what? So it was asking, right? It was asking for username or? Yeah. Dash U. I couldn't remember if it was username or if it was the IP address. Boom. Success. Task 4. Which username allows us to log into this MariaDB instance without providing a password? I'm gonna take a guess and say root on this one. And that's correct. So the answer is root. So we can actually log into this. So we can do, let's put this out. So we can do MySQL -u. Honestly, I can't remember if I had to specify a flag for the IP address or not. This is what my GitHub notes are for. I frequently go here because I don't memorize flags. I don't memorize every single aspect of every single command. I think it's kind of pointless, especially when you have man pages and help pages. And I can definitely check the man page, help page, but I already have this stuff copy and pastable from my GitHub. So this is my GitHub, and then right here you can see my hacking notes. This is public. This is for everybody to use, so feel free to use whatever you got in here, or whatever you see in here you can use yourself. So I know it's in my EJPT notes. So this is stuff that I've learned while going through the eLearn Junior Penetration Testing certification. And it would be in the enumeration section, and there should be a SQL section. Yep. And we have a whole section dedicated to MySQL. So this is how it would log in. So MySQL-H IP address -u username. So I'm actually just going to click this to copy, and I'm just going to delete all of this. Paste this in here. So username, we got root, and then password or IP address is, I forget it. So we gotta go back to my HackTheBox dashboard and click the IP address to copy to our clipboard, and we will paste that right here and push enter on this, and it should log us in. It might ask us for a password. So the -h means -host, which sometimes it's really hard to know all of the flags for to specify a host or a target, because sometimes it's -t for target, sometimes it's -a for address, sometimes it's -h for host. So that's why I don't memorize every single command flags, because they're so different, and it's just hard to memorize all that. And I think your memory is better used elsewhere. So anyways, we're on the MariaDB, and now we can do like a show databases, and then semicolon. And these are all the databases here. So I'm actually curious on, these are the databases, and to use a database, we would simply just do this. Use, and then I'm gonna go into HackTheBox, so that seems like something that is relevant to us right now. So I would do use HTTP, and it says database change, and you can see right here MariaDB, and then this is the database. So earlier I was saying none means we didn't have a database selected, and now we have one. So now from here we can do show tables, and then colon, and then these are the tables. So we can do select everything from users. And these are all the users. So we got admin, Laura, Sam, and Mary. And remember, in MySQL, you need to put a semicolon after every command. So these are all the users. So let's go ahead and so we might be able to answer the next question. I didn't even read the next question. I was just curious on what was in there. So let's go ahead and find out what we actually need to figure out to pass this. Task 5. In SQL, what symbol can we use to specify within the query that we want to display everything inside a table? Oh, we just went over that. So it's the asterisk. You'll often hear me call it star, asterisk, star, What are we going to call it? That's what it is. Task 6. In SQL, what symbol do we need to end each query with? We already covered this. That's the semicolon. That's my answer. There are 3 databases in this MySQL instance. What are common across all MySQL instances? What is the name of the 4th that's unique in this host? What's common across all MySQL instances? What is the name of the 4th that's unique to this host? Let's go back and let's look at it. So these are there are 3 databases in this MySQL instance that are common across MySQL instances. What is the name of the 4th that's unique to this host? Oh, okay, so these 3 are the similar ones because these are like default. These are almost in like every single these databases right here, these 3 are pretty much default in MySQL, which is why I automatically went to HTTP, because it's not a default database. And you can populate these databases with what stuff if you want to, but most of the time these default databases kind of just hang out, and there's always one that like the administrator creates and then names, and that's typically the most interesting one. So that's why HackTheBox or HTTP was the most interesting one and why I went into it. And that's the answer for this, because it is different than the other ones because it's not a default one. And like I said, we can probably, so let's actually do it. Let's go use, and then we'll do MySQL, and then we will do, so we change our database, so now we can do show tables. We gotta end it with a colon, semicolon. So these are, this is the database in there. So let's go ahead and do show databases again, databases. And then we want to use information schema. Let's copy that and we'll paste here, and then end that with a colon. And then we will do show tables colon, and we gotta wait for this because it's still switching. Alright, database change, so we can do show tables, and well, it's not the same thing, but it does have a lot of things that we're not really, well, I mean, in a real engagement I would sit here and go through all of these, or at least for the MySQL database, the one user is clutch a lot of the times. You can get usernames and password hashes from that. And then we'll do use, well, let's do this again. Show databases, colon, semicolon. And then we want to use performance underscore schema. And then we will do a show tables, semicolon, and we can't run show tables yet because we're still waiting for it to switch the database. Now it's switched, so now we can show tables. And so there's users here, which accounts, so that's places that I would check for this, but the HTTP database is one that we're interested in, as task 7 indicated. Submit the root flag. So now we're just looking for a flag. So let's go ahead and switch back to use HTTP, semicolon, and then we will do show tables again, show tables, and then we already looked at the config, so we want to select everything from config. And then if you get this little arrow here, it's just saying you forgot the colon, semicolon at the end. And right there's our flag, and the value is this. So that was how you get the root flag for, let's first name of this machine? SQL. So SQL is a good name for it because we were messing with MySQL. So SQL has been pwned. Alright, let's go ahead and hit OK and move to the next one. 25 minutes in, could have done better, but I wanted to explain it. I wanted to go slow on purpose because I wanted to explain it so you guys knew what was going on. But yeah, that was the first one I haven't been stuck on for a minute. Some of these can be a little challenging. Crocodile. Mostly because a lot of these, like I've been exposed to a lot of technologies that I've never touched before in this starting point, which is why I keep doing them, because I'm learning a lot from these very easy machines. Even, you know, with as much HackTheBox and hacking that I've done, I still learn from these, so which is really good. So Crocodile. Let's go ahead and spawn this. But I didn't. So SQL, MySQL, anyways, I'm very familiar with, which is why I didn't actually have a whole lot of issues with that one. Because MySQL, you need to know it, and that's the reason why I knew the commands off the top of my head. Like I was just talking about like, oh yeah, I don't memorize commands. But MySQL is such a common thing that I've been in MySQL so much that I just know, like, oh, it's show database, oh, it's show tables, oh, it's use database, and then select star from whatever the table is. And there's other commands too, but those are like the basics. Okay, so we got, let's go ahead and click this to cover clipboard. Task 1, what in-map scanning switch employs the use of a default script during scan? So we did this in the last machine, and remember it was dash lowercase s capital C, and then we can submit this, and that is the answer. What service version is found to be running on port 21? So let's go ahead and run that scan. So to exit MySQL, I think it's just exit. Yep, bye. Just going to clear this out to clear out the screen, and we will do I want an FTP port 21. Yeah, port 21. Well, port 21 is typically FTP. It's not telling us FTP, but it's probably some player FTP. FTP, if you're not familiar, is File Transfer Protocol. So we would do a sudo nmap dash s capital T dash s capital V dash s capital C dash P 21, and then the IP address of our target. Paste clipboard, and we will hit enter on this and type in our password. And that was super fast. So see how fast that one went? And remember on the last machine, the SQL port 3306 was just so slow. That's why I was mind blown how slow that was. Because typically it's about this fast. So we got VSFTPD 3.0.3. So this is their version right here. And once again, it is FTP, and anonymous login is allowed, so that is a huge security vulnerability. Well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a security vulnerability. It still is, but it wouldn't be as impactful if you didn't have anything on that share. But if there's sensitive information in your FTP, and you allow anonymous login, you are pretty much allowing the entire world to see your what's on your server, especially if that system is connected to the internet. Task 3. What FTP code is returned to us for the anonymous FTP login allowed? I think it said 303, I can't remember. 230. So FTP login allowed 230. So that's 230. Submit answer. After connecting to the FTP server using the FTP client, what username do we provide when prompted to log in anonymously? So this one is anonymous. ANONYMOUS. So that's how you log in as anonymous. And we're going to do it right now because it's saying after connecting, so let's just go ahead and connect to it. Clear. And so it's FTP and then the IP address of your target. I think I still, no, I don't have it in my clipboard anymore. So we'll click the IP address that copied our clipboard, and we'll paste clipboard and push enter. So it's going to ask for name, so we're just going to do ANONYMOUS, anonymous, and it just says login successful. And we are now in the FTP server. So let's go ahead and see what the task is asking for. After connecting to the FTP server anonymously, what command can we use to download the files we find on the FTP server? So this one is get, G-E-T. And we can do, so if we do an LS, you can also do a dir. Does the same thing. So we can list the directory by LS or dir. And that's easy to know because to list files in Linux, it's LS. To list files on a Windows machine, it's dir. So I like how FTP lets you do either or. Windows doesn't let you do either or, and neither does Linux. So I do like that about FTP. So we see we have allowed.userlist and allowed.userlist.password. So that is crazy. So we can do, let's go ahead and do get allowed, and you can do tab autocomplete here. So allowed.userlist, and transfer is complete, and we also want to do get allowed allowed dot userlist dot passwd, and we can actually exit now. So exit, clear this out, and if we do ls and this, so this is now my machine. We're no longer in FTP, the FTP server. This is my actual Linux machine. So if I do ls here, we can see I have those two files that I just downloaded. I'm actually, since I see it here, because this is a flag.txt from last stream, so I'm actually going to do a remove-rf flag.txt. We're going to remove that. So if I do ls again, no more flag.txt. If you didn't know how to delete files in Linux, that's how you do it. So once again, let's do ls, and these are the files that we just downloaded. So let's go ahead next. It's probably going to have us look at them, but let's go ahead and look at the next task and see what it's asking for. What is one of the higher privileged sounding account usernames in allowed user list that we downloaded from FTP server? So let's go ahead and look at that. So we can just do a cat allowed user list, enter, and we see an admin. So that seems like a privileged account. So we'll just do admin, and that is going to be the answer. Yes. Task 7. What version of Apache HTTP server is running on the target host? So it's also running HTTP server. So to figure that out, actually let's go ahead and get that password. So if we do a cat allowed userlist.passwd, it looks like the fourth entry. So this might be the admin password, but it's kind of hard to tell because like the admin is the fourth entry, this is the fourth entry, but it could be any one of these, I guess. So we'll keep this. So I would copy and paste this and do your notes, and that's actually exactly what I'm going to do. I'm gonna paste this on my put these on my other monitor, that way we got them for later. I mean, I could always just look at the files again too. So, and when you're doing a hacking engagement or a penetration testing engagement, you always want to put everything in your notes. Like any command you run, whatever the output is, put it in your notes, because you never know when that information is going to come in handy. Okay, what version of Apache HTTP server is running on the target host? So this is most likely running on port 80 or 443, possibly 8080. So I would just do this, sudo nmap -st-s capital V -s capital C -p, like I said, 80, 443, or 8080. It's probably run on 80, but 443 and 8080 also can run web hosts, or those are common web server ports, so that's why I'm oh, I forgot to specify the IP address of the target. Click this to copy our clipboard, and we will paste this, and we will run this. So once again, -P, and we're specifying port 80, and then you separate the ports with comma, so 80, 443, 8080, because I do want to check these three. Now, if nothing pops up on these three, I would probably run a rust scan and see what other ports are open. So yeah, 443 and 80 are both closed, as you can see here and here. So 80 is open, and we have Apache HTTPD 2.4.41 Ubuntu. So I would paste, I think this is what it wants, this whole entire string from Apache all the way to Ubuntu, including the parentheses. No, it doesn't want the parentheses, so it just wants a number. So let's go back. It doesn't want this. It wants this. So Apache HTTPD 2.4.41, and we would paste this here. Submit answer. Done. Task 8. Which switch can we use with GoBuster to specify we are looking for a specific file types? We went over this a couple weeks ago. I think it's... Is it -F? I think it's -F. It's not. So let's go ahead and check the man page for that one. So clear this out, and we will do GoBuster -dir -h. Oh, let's just do GoBuster -dir -h. Yeah, it's not -F, because a -F is append to each request. -lowercase x, file extensions to search for. So that's the answer. And I didn't memorize this. We actually went through this exact command and this exact flag a couple weeks ago, maybe a few weeks ago, on HackTheBox starting point. So I didn't memorize it. But once again, the help page is only a command away, and you can get information really quick, which is another reason why I advocate not memorizing a lot of these flags. So that's successful. Task 9. Which PHP file can we identify with directory brute force that will provide the opportunity to authenticate to the web server? Alright, so we're going to have to use GoBuster here. So we're going to do GoBuster dir forget how to so dir means we are brute forcing directories, but I forget the next part of the command. I think we need to do I just do IP address? It might just be IP address. Or URL, I think. I think it's -u for URL. Or is it URL? No. -u. I think it's -u for URL. And then we want to do IP address, but we want to put HTTP:// in front of that. And I think that's correct. No, it's wrong. Oh, word list. We got to specify word list. So -w for word list. And then the word list we're going to use is user. So this is built in Kali Linux. So /user/share/wordless/ Metasploit. No, it's not Metasploit. It's derm. And then we'll do actually we'll do dirbuster / common. No, it's we'll do directory list 1.0. Directory, no. dir directory list 1.0.txt. And then we would do -x and we'll specify PHP because that's what it wants. And we'll wait for this and see what happens. So this is a big word list, so this is going to take a while. It can take a while. If it finds it fast, it will show us. But as you can see here, we're only 500 in, and we have 283,000 entries to try. So once again, this is extremely comprehensive, and I probably didn't need to do such a large word list. In fact, I think I'm going to cancel this and specify a different word list because of that reason. Let's just do word list, derb. So derb and derbbuster are two different tools, but they got different word lists, so it's nice. So let's do derb common.txt, and then we will push enter on that. Hopefully it's in common.txt. Oh, we got some results, but they're all returning 404s. Let's go back to our dashboard here. So which PHP file can we identify with directory brute force that will provide the opportunity to authenticate to the web service? So it's something dot, presumably PHP because it's a PHP file. So, and then once we log in, we can submit the root flag, it looks like. So we just got to figure out what these 5 characters are. So it looks like it could be assets or config.php. Config's 6 letters though. Well, we can try login.php. That's pretty common, so that's a good guess. So let's try that. Login.php. That's correct. That's a good guess. See, it's not popping up here, but login.php is pretty typical. So let's actually, so hopefully that pops up because I don't know why index.html. Well, we're not even halfway done with the scan yet. I'm sure login.php has to be in there. It has to be. If not, then what are you doing? Common.txt word list. Alright, so submit the root flag. So in your internet browser, just open up a new tab, and then we will go to paste the IP address and do /login.php, and this is going to be the login. So we got username and password. So we know the username is admin, and then remember, if we go back to my terminal, let's do a new tab here. New tab. So if we do a cat, well, let's do ls, and then a cat allowed user list dot password. So I think this might be the password, but we'll try this and then we'll just try all these real quick. So we'll paste that password as copied, and we will sign in. And that was correct. So we logged in. So that is the password right here. This string of characters right here is the admin password to the login.php on the web server. As you can see here, we are on the dashboard and we are admin, as you can see up here in the top right. So it wants the root flag. So there's got to be, let's check the mail. Oh, right there's a flag right in the top. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. So here it is. Here's your flag. Boom, done. And did it find login? Yeah. So common.txt did find login.php eventually, as you see here. So you would have found it if you didn't have a way to guess it. If you were using the derb common.txt, this is the word list right here that I use. And once again, that's built into Kali Linux, at least in the newest version, and it's been in the Kali Linux ever since I've been using Kali Linux, which has been a few years now. So let's go ahead and paste that flag into Here. And that's the flag. Crocodile has been flown, and we will hit OK on that. So we've been streaming for 45 minutes. I think I can get the next one in 15. If not, we're gonna go a little over my hour mark that I like to do. But I think regardless, it's gonna be worth it if I do this next one. Maybe. See what it's about. Network, PHP, responder. Spawn the target machine, IP will show here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this one in 15 minutes. This one seems a little more in depth. I'm looking at the questions here, and I don't think that I'm going to be able to do this in a timely manner. I think this is going to be like a half-hour machine, to be honest with you. So we're going to save this one for next week for that reason. Because, like I said, I like to keep these at an hour or less, and I just don't think I'm going to be able to do this in 14 minutes. I really don't. Because it's responder, and I've used responder, but I'm not like super. I don't have everything of responder memorized, so we will start the next stream off with that. And so the next stream will be Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and that is 5 p.m. Sorry, 4 p.m. Pacific time. So once again, 4 p.m. Pacific time and 9 p.m. Is that right? Man, my time zone's all out of whack. So I'm in Alaska time zone, so yeah, 9 p.m. Pacific time. Sorry, 9 p.m. Eastern time and 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's it. So once again, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I'm gonna be streaming every single Friday night. Sorry, that took me a minute to figure it out. Those time zones. I don't know why. Math is hard. Once again, we'll start with the responder machine and HackTheBox starting point tier 0, and hopefully we can knock out 2 or 3 machines like we did today. We knocked out 2. We did Crocodile and Sequel. So very easy machines, but it is hard to get 3 in one stream. It really is. So hopefully I see you next stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching the rerun. If you're watching the live stream now, thank you so much for hanging out while I'm live. Really do appreciate it. Follow the channel on Twitch if you haven't already. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Links are in the channel description to my social media and all my channels. So if you want to connect with me, feel free to do so on Twitter, LinkedIn, and with Twitch and YouTube. So hopefully see you around. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you learned something. I sure did, and had a great time tonight. So once again, thank you for your support, and thanks for watching. Next stream next week, same time, 5 p.m. Sorry, it's 5 p.m. Alaska time. I'm in Alaska right now. 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Hopefully see you there. Until then, peace out. Take care. Have a good one. Kyser.